Hello, everybody. This is Derek Lane with the Fast Lane podcast. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's kick it off. A little bit of intro music. All right, that sounds good. Always love that track. Tonight I think we're going to do something a little lighter than the past couple of podcasts. Tonight we're going to talk about opportunities, creating opportunities, and how to do it, and the best way to do it. One of the best ways to create an opportunity that comes to my mind is basically interacting with people and expanding your network of people, knowing who's in your network, who's in your circle. I've always known it to be your circle of influences, people you influence, the people that are influenced by you, those circles. Who's moving in, who's moving out. And trust me, it happens. People move in, they move out. I always like to consider there's a core group that at any given time, you've got a core group of people that are your influences. You move these people in and out, or these people move themselves in or out all the time, and that's okay. That's the way it works. Successful people know that they keep their eyes open all the time for opportunities. They talk to people. They're always asking questions of people. And I don't care who it is. I've gotten over a long time ago, my desire to not talk to people and leave me alone. And I'm on a mission. I don't need to be bugged. No, I go into a grocery store or whatever. I talk to people. People are interesting. People will give you ideas. They'll give you feedback, and if you take an interest in people, it's a great opportunity to open up new avenues, new opportunities. Again, the circle that I'm talking about, social circles, network circles. This can be deliberate, or it can be accidental, but it's okay. Some of the best friends that I've met, I've been, on an accidental basis. Just again, by whether it's on the golf course, and it's a friend of a friend of a friend or whatever. Just take interest in somebody. You never know what that you don't know what people do for a living or what motivates people until you ask, until you engage in that conversation. And that's kind of what I'm talking about tonight. Engaging in conversation, to be the person that allows other people to see who you are, maybe pick your brain about things. Life is reciprocal. We're all the time giving and taking and giving. And number one, you can't take unless you give. That is an old rule. If you try to take without giving, it's not going to work for you. Opportunities to learn about other people and let them learn about you is crucial. Again, that's how you expand your network, is your frame of references. If you only associate with the people you've only associated with, how are you going to grow? How are you going to learn new perspectives? In other words, you've heard the old saying, I'm preaching to the choir. Well, right. If you're not expanding and learning new perspectives, new ideas, then you're basically you're closed in. You're not branching out at all. So meeting people, whether it's at the airport, again, grocery store, gas station, I don't care where you're at. I talk to people. I'm respectful of their time. If they don't want to be bugged, of course, I'm not some stalker or anybody that's, out here, please talk to me type of thing. So, but anyway, no, I'm really talking about people that, that will give you your time, and you give of your time. And just remember this too, that your resume, you wear your resume all the time. Your resume is in your smile, it's in your look, it's in your eyes, it's who you are, it's in your posture. Your resume is who you are all the time. And people get that from you. And I know a lot of you may be thinking, that doesn't make sense. My resume, it's a piece of paper with my job history. Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about who you are. See, your true resume is who you are. And people identify with who you are, based on your characteristics, your willingness to give, to listen, to be a friend. What's the old saying, that to have a friend, you must be a friend? Absolutely true. Successful people that know how to communicate, meet people, expand their circles, the one core thing they have in common is their ability to listen. If you're a good listener, you will have no problem whatsoever expanding your circles, your social circles, your network circles, business, career, personal life. Being able to listen, but not just listen, but to listen with interest, be genuinely interested in what somebody is saying. Of course, unless you're talking to a blithering idiot, which I don't like to seem, that happens all the time. I think most of the time my conversations with people are very interesting. I will tell you, the other day, less than 5 days ago, conversation with someone that just out of the blue we got to talking about things, and the subject got kind of in a deep tone as far as philosophical. We were talking about being able to get in tune with nature, and we're talking about the vibrations and frequencies of the earth, and that. And I promise I'm not going into that tonight. So I'm gonna keep it light. But the point is that we were really involved in a conversation, and I think truly that this person found it refreshing that I knew exactly what they were talking about. To a certain degree, and then I knew what they were talking about, and it just made for a very interesting conversation, and the pleasure was all mine. And I hope to continue these conversations with this person in the future, just because it was so interesting. But that's how you make friends. That's how you communicate. That's how you get out there. If you're the type of person that goes to social settings and you're just there to network, let me tell you, people don't like you. They don't like you. You come across as arrogant, and if your motivation is just to network, people, it turns people off. Okay, that's kind of why I go back to saying, you wear your resume. You don't need to push a business card on everybody that you meet. You don't need. People don't want it. If they want it, they'll ask for it. If your conversation goes well enough, because you can hand out a gazillion business cards, and it won't matter if people don't, if they don't align themselves with you. It's a very important fact to be able to connect with people. And that's what successful people do. They're able to connect because of their sincerity, because of their involvement and their interest in people. And trust me, it takes people for you to be successful. And it takes you understanding that not everybody has the same ideas as you, the same perspectives as you. Not everybody is totally convinced that, even success. You ask 20 different people what success means, you'll probably get 20 different answers. So take that in consideration when you think about the overall of how you communicate with people. People see things differently. It doesn't mean that they can't be closely aligned. It very well can be, but just be respectful of their opinions and their ideals. I know that a lot of people have a lot of successful people. I guarantee you won't find a successful person out there that hasn't read one of the best books of all time, and that's by Andrew Carnegie. Not Andrew Carnegie, Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie wrote the book How to Win Friends and Influence People. This book is masterful. If you haven't read it, I implore you, please read it, and take your time reading it. I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes here. I want to go over some of the principles in this book. Not trying to, plagiarize anything. Dale Carnegie wrote this, and he was a genius for writing this thing, and it's helped many, many people. Again, I bet you, if you ask the top business people at any business, private, government, whatever, even the biggest motivational people, from Tony Robbins to Jack Canfield, whoever. But anyway, I'll go over this with you. Different parts. Part one really is some of the golden gems here. Don't criticize or condemn people or complain. Give an honest and sincere appreciation. Arouse in other people, an eager want. Part two talks about becoming genuinely interested in people. Remember that a person's name to that person is the sweetest sounding word in the world. If you remember people's names, then you can give it back to them, and that goes a long way. And again, it talks about being a good listener, encouraging people to talk about themselves, talk in terms of other people's interests. I know that I did a podcast a while back where I talked about, and my wife says that I'm somewhat of a chameleon. I will emulate a person's words and their phrases and what have you. That's just something that I've worked on, and it's not to manipulate anybody. It is to align myself with that person so they can feel that I'm a trustworthy person, which understanding the laws of the universe. It's exactly what my intention is for everybody. I trust everybody and want them to trust me. Principle number 5 is make the person feel important, and again, do it sincerely. Part 3, they talk about, our Dale Carnegie talks about, the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. And to show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say to a person, "You're wrong." Look, you just build the barriers when you do that. If you're wrong, admit it, and be sincere about it. Principle number 4 and part 3 talks about begin your conversations and your when you meet people, just in a friendly way. Always getting other people to agree with you, saying yes. Let the other person do most of the talking. Let the other person feel that the ideas are their own. Most people want to know that that if they feel like this is part of what they're doing is their idea, it's greatly accepted. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Appeal to nobler motives. Dramatize your ideas. Throw down challenges. And then finally, in part 4, begin with praise and honest appreciation. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Talk about your own mistakes. before criticizing anyone else.